can prove to you that you have been misunderstanding the butterfly effect. If a butterfly flaps its wings in Utah, then in a week's time, a shitstorm will hit Washington. Well, maybe. Except the butterfly was originally a seagull, and the whole concept predates the observation of it and chaos theory. As you may have guessed, the butterfly effect was first observed due to weather effects. And for those who are actually wondering, as I did many years ago, no, there was no butterfly that caused a storm. And the whole concept was pre-thought a long while back, and it can be seen in Buddhism and later in the holographic universe. Now, I am not a mathematician or a meteorologist, but this guy was. And he studied at MIT during a time where computers were becoming a thing. They took up a bunch of space, but they could run a bunch of data. And when I say a bunch, I actually don't mean that. They were very, very, very slow. So running predictive analytics took a very long time, and when someone made a mistake, they would stumble upon chaos theory. Without realizing it, Edward Lorenz stumbled upon the chaos in the machine when he reset his calculations to continue a progression of outcomes. And at first, that's exactly what happened, but soon they deviated and looked nothing like the previous list that was kind of offset by a little bit. And he could see that numbers were not matching what his previous list was. Well, what happened proves that the slightest unseen change in the system can have profound outcomes. And because we don't live our lives calculating probabilities, we don't even see it most of the time, like almost never. So how did it happen and why you're still getting it wrong? The thing is that most things happen in the unobservable, and that the computer was making a more detailed calculation to the decimal number of 0.6. What Lorenz was looking at on the printout were only 3 decimal numbers, so not the 3 more numbers that the computer was calculating. Hence, this minute change in the system, when he reset it, it reset the previously calculated number that he had not seen to 000. You get it? Well, there's more, so you probably still don't get it, at least not the punchline. We see chaos everywhere. In weather, every moment is a casual nexus, and we're all caught in this web, not always understanding how our actions fit into the larger pattern. Maybe it's about accepting the unpredictability and the delicate dance between cause and effect. Every choice matters, but it's the mysterious unknown that creates the magic. What happens if we view the butterfly effect through the lens of human consciousness? What if each thought, every decision you make, no matter how small, ripples through the fabric of your mental and emotional state, affecting how you perceive the world, how the world responds to you? What if our thoughts, emotions, and decisions are just as chaotic, unpredictable, and deeply interconnected with everything else? Every tiny choice we make, from the words we speak to the emotions we feel, creates a cognitive ripple. The way that you react to a situation today could set off a cascade of decisions that reverberate into the future, shaping your life in unexpected ways. Just like Lorenz's weather system, your mind is a chaotic system, a delicate web of interconnected thoughts, memories, and beliefs. Ever have one of those days when a small thought spirals into a bigger mess and before you know it, you're locked into a cycle of stress and anxiety? That is the butterfly effect at work in your mind, like watching the news in horror and shock and not being able to grasp at what you just witnessed. Well, that puts your body in fight or flight. The brain can't tell the difference between perceived danger and real danger, so your cortisol level just went up. and it radiates outside of you. It comes out of your pores, and someone walking by you can smell it and ingest your stress. The butterfly effect isn't just the domain of nature, it's alive in the world of your consciousness. Every small shift can create an entirely new reality. Understanding that your mind is a chaotic system gives you a powerful tool. You can nudge the system in the direction you want by choosing to shift your thoughts and responses and your behavior. From ancient mystical traditions to modern quantum physics, the idea that small actions ripple out into the universe is more than just a scientific curiosity. It's a spiritual truth. In Buddhism, there's a teaching called the interdependence of all things. That every action, no matter how small, is connected to the entire fabric of existence. The act of kindness you offer to a stranger, the compassionate thought you send to someone in need, sends waves of energy that impact the world in ways you may never see. Similarly, in quantum physics, we learn that the observer, you, affects the system being observed. It's not just about the butterfly flapping its wings. It's about you as a conscious observer being part of the vast interconnected web. The quantum field is a matrix of potential. And every decision, every thought ripples through this web, collapsing potential into reality. But you, as the observer, are not a passive spectator. You are an active participant. It's as if the universe is waiting for you to choose, to nudge the chaos into a new pattern. Every thought, every action carries with it the potential to unlock new dimensions of reality. To realize that your choices, even the smallest ones, have the power to shape your world, your relationships, and your destiny, well, it's like the keys to life. In esoteric literature, there's a saying, know thyself. To know thyself is not just a philosophical pursuit, it's a realization that your inner world is vast and every ripple you send out shapes the world around you. Self-realization isn't just about discovering who you are, it's about recognizing the interconnectedness of all things and the fact that your actions, no matter how small, affect matter. So, what are you going to do with this knowledge? Because the real concept of the butterfly effect can actually be seen in the beautiful imagery that result from the calculations of chaos theory. Because they point to the truth and the magic, the real magic of the butterfly effect. And it is that at no point in time ever will any of them cross. They'll never cross paths. They will be parallel and eventually counter-rotate. So they go like an infinity symbol and then they stop and then they counter-rotate. It's beautiful. When we look at these representations of the cells, weather cells in this instant, at first they act perfectly as expected. As the ZYX change, the pattern evolves. Then it deviates and inexplicably reorients the entire trajectory, causing counterbalance. And if you keep the simulation going, it will continue to create this infinity loop and flip this way and then that way with no apparent reason and at no measured interval. So the big picture is that there is a fascinating aspect of this system that displays chaotic behavior on small scales, but that it maintains a kind of balance or order when viewed from a larger perspective. Buddhism saw this. Chaos and order are partners, not opposites. It is not chaos for chaos's sake. There is an underlying stability that emerges. Perhaps, like in the holographic universe, each seemingly chaotic event is simply part of a larger, unseen order. Embracing this duality, we can let go of the illusion of control over the small, chaotic aspects of life, while still maintaining trust in the larger process. And remember, these lines never cross, meaning that every deviation, alteration, choice, action, thought creates a minusculely different reality, and it will keep going. And there's a beautiful mathematical dance that happens, that every individual moment is just that, unique. Never will it repeat the same way. Similar to memory. You cannot have the same memory twice. Each time you remember something, your brain is rebuilding the memory and changing it ever so slightly. So next time, remember, when you say, the weather was exactly like this last year in Egypt, know that it is an impossibility, because each vector changes slightly and never crosses, making way for a future that has never been. And as always, thank you for sticking around. If you found this interesting, fascinating, educational, even boring, leave a comment, press the like button, and consider subscribing. And until the next time, I will see you from beneath the veil. I'm Agnes. Have a good one.